KMBC 9 First News starts now.
This is extremely distressing.
Missouri's Attorney General launches a push to overturn the conviction of former KCPD detective. The reasons he says Eric DeValconaire shouldn't be in prison for shooting and killing Cameron Lamb.
It's been a year now since an Amtrak train hit a truck and went off the tracks in Mendon, Missouri, killing 4 people, hurting several more. We'll look back on that day and the legal battles still brewing.
New name, new location, same department. Jackson County Public Health is officially open for business. We're live in Lee Summit with a look at the new and improved space. Clock ticking over to 6 o'clock on your Tuesday morning. Thanks so much for joining us on First News. I'm Jamie Weiss in for Donna Pittman.
I'm Cody Holyoke. Nick Bender is back with First Alert forecast. We see a little bit of rain on the radar there, Nick?
We do to the west of Kansas City, Cody. Rain and thunderstorms here out near Salina, Kansas, back to the north and west of Hutchinson. Those are moving eastward toward Kansas City. We're going to lose the instability, so the thunderstorms will weaken, but we may get some rain showers later this morning through about lunchtime. But out your door right now, it's a mostly clear sky and a calm wind. The most likely time for those showers would be between 8 o'clock this morning and lunchtime, so you may want to consider bringing an umbrella with you, even though we have that sunshine out your door right now. Wind is calm. The dew point value is 58 degrees. You're going to hear us talk a lot about dew point the next few days with this upcoming heat wave. The higher that number, the more uncomfortable or humid it feels. It's going to climb into the 70s, which is oppressive, and that begins tomorrow. 65 downtown, 67 in Grandview, 59 degrees in Liberty. 12-hour forecast for today in Kansas City as we look ahead to this afternoon and this evening. No thunderstorm chances. We'll reach a high of 89 degrees here in the metro, 90 in Paola, Lacine, Butler, 88 in Trenton. Tomorrow, it's going to feel anywhere from 10 to 15 degrees hotter than today. Jamie.
My goodness. Appreciate the First Alert. Thanks, Nick. And when it comes to your First Alert traffic, we are definitely seeing some problems on the roadways. I want you to focus in on that slower drive time on I-70 westbound. That's because of an accident we've been telling you about all morning long involving a motorcycle. So this is I-70 westbound near 40 Highway. We had a wreck earlier this morning closer to, I want to say, 4:45, 5 o'clock. And because of that, we've seen traffic pretty slow and backed up to Nolan Road. Again, you're looking at a drive time delay right now between 5 and 10 minutes. Missouri's Attorney General is pushing for an overturned conviction or a new trial for a former KCPD detective.
Last year, a judge sentenced Eric DeValconaire to 6 years in prison for shooting and killing a black man named Cameron Lamb in his own backyard. Well, in a brief filed Monday, AG Andrew Bailey claims that the evidence in the case doesn't support the conviction, further claiming deadly force was reasonable and that the officers, he says, were not the aggressors. Jackson County Prosecutor Jean Peters Baker says her office asked for the Attorney General's office input before the case even started, and she says they're not done fighting.
We fight for justice. We fight for justice. And we're going to continue to fight on this case. We are not done. We put our best forward on this case. Boy, we worked hard.
This case now goes to an appeals court, and attorneys say it'll be several months before a judgment's reached.
For the first time, we are hearing from the Kansas City teen who was shot after going to the wrong door. Ralph Yarl was picking up his twin brothers when he approached the wrong home and was shot twice. This case gained national attention, and now he's sharing the story of his recovery with Good Morning America's Robin Roberts.
There are a lot of things that are going on inside my head that aren't normal. I've been having headaches, trouble with sleep, and sometimes my mind is just foggy. Like, I can't concentrate on the things that would be easy for me to do.
Ralph also talks about what the accused shooter said to him right before pulling the trigger. That man, Andrew Lester, is now facing charges. He claims the shooting was self-defense, and you can watch all of Ralph's exclusive interview this morning on Good Morning America. It airs at 7 o'clock right here on Channel 9. But before that, be sure to stay with us right here on KMBC 9 First News. We're going to have an exclusive live interview with GMA's Robin Roberts. She'll be talking all about her meeting with Ralph and what the world will learn from their conversation. That's coming up at 6:50 again right here on First News.
6:03 right now. 1 year ago today, 4 people died. Dozens more were hurt when an Amtrak train hit a dump truck and derailed in Mendon, Missouri. Legal battles are still happening today. KMBC 9's Rob Hughes is live to bring us up to speed on what has happened in the year since the crash. Rob.
Hey, good morning to you, Cody. Well, that Amtrak train, the Southwest Chief 4, was heading from Los Angeles to Chicago when it hit a dump truck at a crossing near Mendon. There were 275 passengers and 12 crew members on board. 3 of those passengers and the driver of the dump truck were killed in the crash. An investigation from the NTSB revealed that the train was going 87 miles per hour when it hit the truck, which was under the 90-mile-per-hour speed limit. That crossing at County Road 113 and Porch Prairie Road has been on a statewide list for safety improvements from MoDOT before this crash. Well, now that crossing's on a list of projects ready for funding with a price tag of $400,000. Those improvements would include installing lights and gates, but as of now, nothing has changed from the day of that derailment. And there's still several lawsuits involving passengers, BNSF Railway, and Amtrak that are all working their way through the court system, and we'll bring you updates on those cases as soon as we get them. We're live at Union Station. I'm Rob Hughes, KMBC 9 News.
Happening today, Missouri State Senator Ray Bratton is hosting a town hall about the proposed landfill in South Kansas City. Earlier this month, the Kansas City, Missouri City Council approved a one-year moratorium on the project, but the senator and several community members want a long-term solution. The Kill the Fill PAC meeting will start at 7 o'clock tonight. That's at the Centerview event space in Raymore. People won't be able to set off fireworks in Clinton, Missouri this 4th of July.
Yeah, city actually is banning setting off individual fireworks between June 30th and July 4th, so that's Friday and Tuesday. Leaders say it was a hard decision to make, but they had to because of dry conditions. By the way, the public fireworks display scheduled for Sunday will go on. Its schedule starts at 9:30. Fireworks officially go on sale today in Shawnee. Police remind you, though, it's only legal to set them off on the 3rd and 4th from 10 in the morning till 11 at night. Bottle rockets, sky lanterns, and M80s are illegal.
KMBC 9 News is getting you prepared for the 4th of July with a full rundown of all the rules in all of our cities across the metro. Fireworks are not allowed in places like Kansas City, Olathe, and Grandview, but they are legal during certain times in places like Lee Summit, Blue Springs, and Raymore in Missouri, Gardner, Shawnee, and Spring Hill in Kansas. So if you're still a little confused about the rules in your city, don't worry, we've got you covered. We put together a list of what fireworks are allowed and where on our website. That's KMBC.com. I cannot believe this weekend and leading into next week is already 4th of July weekend.
Yeah, for sure. And when we talk about, I mean, not just the heat, but just the dryness in our area, Nick, you wonder if other cities and towns might pull back their fireworks, or actually, I guess, add restrictions, right, to fireworks.
Yeah, certainly have drought concerns, through next week, and we'll likely have air quality concerns, as we put smoke in the sky, and if we have a stagnant weather pattern, we could see additional air quality alert days. This morning, there is a chance of a few showers here through lunchtime, and then the rest of the afternoon and the evening will be warm and humid, with temperatures reaching into the upper 80s to near 90. Overnight through tomorrow morning, it's going to get muggier. It'll feel humid tomorrow morning compared to this morning. And Wednesday and Thursday especially, excessive heat and humidity with daily high temperatures near 100 degrees, 97 on Wednesday, near 100 degrees on Thursday. With rising dew points or rising levels of moisture, it's going to make it harder for our bodies to cool off. So the heat index values will climb above 100 to 105 on Wednesday and Thursday, possibly into Friday, when we have a chance of showers and thunderstorms. So this is going to be our first heat wave, if you will, Johnny, of the year. It's certainly the first time that we've come close to 100 degrees since last year.
Got to watch out for that. All right, thanks so much, Nick. As we take a look at your first alert traffic, 607, no big problems to report now, although we did have an accident here that was causing a slowdown earlier. It's going to be westbound I-70 near 40 Highway, the 40 Highway Blue Ridge Boulevard interchange, and you can see everything looking good through here, although a tow truck on the side of the road pulling away, I believe. We're getting ready to the last vehicle involved, so this will not be a factor for you. Johnny Rollins, News Chopper 9, back to you in the studio.
Johnny, thank you. Jackson County, Missouri is making changes to its public health department.
And that includes moving into a new office in a more central location that's just designed to help some more people. KMBC 9's Martin Augustine joins us live there now to show us what's changed. Martin, you're inside now.
Yes, we are. The new offices for Jackson County Public Health are right at the corner of Woods Chapel and I-470 and Lee's Summit. We're in one of the clinic rooms. There's twice as many clinic rooms as there was in the previous location, and that's why we're here talking to Bridget Schaefer. She's the health director of Jackson County Public Health. Why is simply having more rooms, and these are nice new rooms too, a big help to you?
Yes, so we are very excited to have a larger space here for for our clinic. This allows us to expand our services, allows us to see more clients, and more importantly, allows us to co-locate some services that we have greater access for our community.
I also noticed there's a bigger waiting area and more registration windows. That's all a part of that too. But you kind of hit on the second point I wanted to make here. Now, at this new office, you don't just have the health department. You've got environmental health, which handles inspections and restaurant licenses and things like that, and the women, infants, and children nutrition program. To have all those under one roof, why is that a big help to you?
Yeah, so by having us under one roof, environmental health and us work very closely together, whether it be a foodborne illness or outbreak that we're experiencing, we can now more closely work with them. And then with WIC, we see a lot of the same clients, and so this is just easier access, one-stop shop that they can come in here and get the services that they need.
Very good. That's Bridget Schaefer. She's the health director here for Jackson County. And it's no longer the Jackson County Health Department. The department decided to rebrand itself a little bit, now referring to it as Jackson County Public Health. Reporting live in Lee Summit, Martin Augustine, KBC 9 News.
Noted. Martin, thank you. Yesterday, hundreds of Jackson County homeowners voiced their concerns about a surge in property assessments and what that can mean for their taxes. They showed up to a county budget committee meeting to weigh in, and some people told us their assessments went up as much as 90%. Many say the process isn't fair and is really affecting Kansas City residents.
I don't want to cry because I saw a lot of senior citizens on canes, and they were coming in there with their walkers because they are so afraid of losing their homes. And one of the council persons that was there said that, with this going on, the reality is that there are going to be a lot of homeless people in Kansas City from this.
County legislators put out a resolution saying they support equitable property taxes. There's also a class action lawsuit filed by attorneys in Kansas City. Several people are also waiting on the governor to sign a bill into law that would freeze taxes for seniors. There's a free property tax workshop today to help people work on appeals. It's from 5:30 to 8 tonight at the 28 event space on 28th Street. Legal representatives will be there to walk you through the process. You are asked to bring the letter, though, that you received from the county.
Today, we expect more rulings from the Supreme Court on what could be their last day of the term.
Next on First News, we'll share the major cases still left undecided.
And later today, the Henry County Library Board of Trustees is addressing a recent controversy, the event that had some community members up in arms.
Your station leading the way, getting you answers on the stories that matter most to you and your family. KMBC 9 News.
6:14 on your Tuesday, and we see the sun come up. You're going to feel that this week. The hottest days of the year so far are coming soon. Nick will show us when the mix of heat and humidity could actually become a bit dangerous and even go through some of the precautions you're going to want to take. Johnny?
All right, thanks, Cody. Let's take a look at your first alert traffic, trying to sort out what's going on here. I-70, the inbound over by 40 Highway. Told you a minute ago about the accident we had reported there, and looked like they'd cleared it, but this is a line, I should say, a look from at about Nolan Road. So there is something going on here. I believe maybe what we saw earlier was one of the vehicles that was involved in the accident. This would be moved away, but otherwise looks like definitely there's something still down there. So inbound I-70 will put you on alert. Westbound I-70 coming up to Nolan Road, probably a 5 or 10 minute drive time delay right now, and we'll work on exactly what's going on down there for you and figure it out. Johnny Rollins, News Chopper 9, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Johnny. Time now 6:15, and the Supreme Court will release more decisions today as it wraps up the term.
Yeah, as Amy Lou shows us, the few remaining cases are among the most controversial.
Well, the Supreme Court still has 10 more cases to decide, which could impact students, voting, and human rights. For students, the justices will decide if affirmative action, which considers race in college admissions, is constitutional, and whether President Biden's student loan forgiveness plan, which could wipe or reduce debt for millions of people, is legal. 2 other cases consider gay and religious rights, whether businesses can deny services to customers based on their sexual orientation, and how far employers must go to accommodate employees' religious beliefs and practices. The justices will also rule who has the final say on elections and if the power of state legislatures can go unchecked. That could affect how voting maps are drawn and how rules and results are determined. So far, today is the only decision day marked on the Supreme Court's calendar, with the possibility of more days being added for the few remaining cases. In Washington, I'm Amy Lou.
Supreme Court will start releasing opinions at 9 o'clock this morning. We'll let you know what the justices decide.
For the first time in 20 years, the U.S. is seeing its first cases of malaria contracted here in the U.S. The CDC says 4 cases have turned up in Florida, while 1 has turned up in Texas. Officials don't think these cases are connected, but the CDC says Americans typically get malaria while overseas. So this is unusual. It's most often spread through mosquitoes, blood transfusions, organ transplants, and sharing needles. Scientists say malaria could become more common in the U.S. as climate change makes things warmer.
Air traffic controllers say they just don't have enough workers to meet demand right now. National Air Traffic Controllers Association says there were 1,200 fewer certified controllers than there were 10 years ago. The union and the Department of Transportation are calling on Congress to make the FAA hire more controllers. The FAA is asking for 1,800 new controllers next year.
Today in Johnson County, Kansas, leaders are holding one more open house about the 2024 fiscal year budget. Tonight's meeting runs from 5:30 to 7 at the county's Northeast offices in Mission. If you can't make it tonight, the Board of County Commissioners will be having another public hearing about the budget. That'll be on August 21st. Henry County Library leaders are expecting a lot of people at their Board of Trustees meeting in Clinton later today.
It's because of a controversy surrounding a summer reading kickoff event. Some parents started getting mass texts claiming a performer dressed in drag was hired to read to kids at the event. While the company the library hired to host this, Happy Faces Entertainment, does offer drag readings, there were never any drag performers in the library. Still, the text called on people to protest at today's meeting. Now others are going to show support for the library.
They're talking about inclusivity. They're talking about acceptance. They're educating children. This is the kind of stuff that I believe is so important for our rural communities.
The library put out a statement writing in part, Happy Faces Entertainment was highly recommended by the Missouri Library Association and was vetted. The show was not performed in drag costume, nor did it reflect content that was inappropriate for children. Now, today's Board of Trustees meeting starts at 4 this afternoon.
Chiefs fans will get to see the Super Bowl Lombardi Trophy in person as part of a multi-city tour, and that trophy is in the Missouri Capitol today. It'll be on display inside the Capitol Rotunda from 11 to 3 today and tomorrow. Local stops include Leawood, Lenexa, and Kansas City. You can see the full schedule of where the trophy will be over at KMBC.com. And maybe you don't want to wait until the trophy's here at home. You want to make the trek out to Jefferson City. Need that sunscreen, need some water, because I can only imagine if it's going to be hot here, it's probably going to be hot there too.
Yeah, hopefully the lines can be inside the Capitol and not so much outside.
Yeah, I would not want to be standing outside, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday in a line for anything. Yeah, excessive heat and humidity builds in beginning Wednesday and could last through Friday. This morning, we're seeing some beneficial rain Thunderstorms here into central Kansas on first alert radar. Those are slowly making their way toward Kansas City. A lot of those thunderstorms will die out before they make it over to state line, but there is the chance of some lingering rain showers and some increased cloud cover this morning. First alert future scans showing between 8 o'clock this morning and lunchtime, showers are possible here across Kansas City into central Missouri. So you might want to grab the umbrella for later. Out your door right now, it's sunny and comfortable. The wind is calm. Dew point values are in the 50s. We'll talk a lot about the dew point over the next few days. The simple takeaway, the higher that number, the more uncomfortable it will feel, and it's going to climb into the 70s Wednesday, Thursday, into Friday. 12-hour forecast for today in Kansas City. Here's our chance of a few rain showers through lunchtime. We'll make our way up to near 90 degrees this afternoon for many of our communities. Near 90 in Lee Summit, Belton, Olathe, and Lawrence. And look at the heat for tomorrow. Highs climbing well into the 90s, could even be a few hundreds there in eastern Kansas. And Thursday on the First Alert 9-day forecast, the hottest day this week, 99 degrees. Heat index values will be above 100 Thursday and Friday. Let's talk quickly about our rain and thunderstorm chances this week. There's another chance overnight into Wednesday morning, and then Friday afternoon off and on throughout the day on Saturday. Jamie.
Okay, appreciate the heads up. Thanks, Nick. Today's the day a Missouri community celebrates a local athlete. The big plans to honor Charlie Phillips and his 4 Special Olympics medals, plus how you can take part.
Today on Good Morning America, Robin Roberts sits down exclusively with Ralph Yarl. Kansas City teen shot when he knocked at the door of the wrong house. Yarl speaks for the first time on GMA starting at 7 here on Channel 9. KMBC 9 Cares for Kids is teaming up with Lead to Read KC to make sure more students in the metro have books to read.
Lead to Read works with several local school districts to help make sure students are reading at grade level or beyond. Researchers have found that students who don't know how to read by the 3rd grade are 4 times as likely to drop out of high school. So we want to support 1,000 kids this month. It takes just $10 to provide one child with a new book to read. You can scan this QR code on the screen to help make a donation right now. You can also visit kmbc.com/community to get involved. Today is the day a town north of Kansas City is celebrating one of their own after his success on the international stage.
Charlie Phillips is from Savannah, Missouri, bringing home 3 silver medals and a bronze from the Special Olympics World Games. Charlie's a weightlifter and competed in squat, bench press, deadlift, and the all-around, medaling in each event. Well done, sir. Welcome home parade planned for Phillips in Savannah at 6 o'clock tonight. Parade starts at the firehouse, goes around Main Street and around the square twice. Charlie will sign autographs, take pictures of the courthouse lawn. That'll be a lot of fun. Time's running out to pick up some special treats if the 4th of July fireworks give your pets anxiety.
The City of Gardner Animal Control is giving out calming treats for dog owners. Workers say these treats can help dogs feel better if fireworks scare them.
It helps them calm down. You get less loose dogs during fireworks. And just helps them be less afraid in general, so they're not hiding underneath the bed.
You can pick up the treats at the Gardner Justice Center through Thursday. It is first come, first serve. Residents must bring an ID as well as their current dog license.
The fight for transgender rights continues in Kansas as the state attorney general lays out a new plan. Next on First News, we'll look at the proposal he's pushing and the challenges legal experts say he's likely to face.
KMBC 9 First News starts now.
Being back out here, this is where I'm meant to be.
An Excelsior Springs police officer is back at work after he was shot in the line of duty. his long journey back to the job he says he's meant to do.
New offices for Jackson County Public Health. I'm Martin Augustine. I'll explain why these new spaces are so critical to helping more people more efficiently.
And it's been a year now since an Amtrak train went off the tracks in Mendon, Missouri, killing 4 people, hurting dozens more. This morning, we're looking back on that day and the continued calls for change and justice after that crash. Good morning. Thanks for joining us for First News on your Tuesday. I'm Cody Holyoke.
And I'm Jamie Weiss in for Donna Pittman. Nick Bender here with your first alert forecast. And there's a decent amount of rain on the radar right now.
There is, and thunderstorms as well. Way to the west of Kansas City, out near Salina into central Kansas, west on I-70. Those thunderstorms are slowly moving eastward toward Manhattan, Emporia, Wichita. Some of those showers and even the cloud cover could even make it as far east as Kansas City between 8 o'clock this morning and noon. So you might want to consider an umbrella during that time. Out your door right now, it's 65 degrees and it's just a few clouds here with sunshine on a morning that looks like it wants to get hot and humid. And it will be a humid, warm day, but not excessively hot and humid. That begins tomorrow, especially on Thursday. 65 degrees. The wind right now is calm. It's 65 as you're heading into downtown, 66 in Overland Park, into KCK, 64 degrees in Shawnee. 12-hour forecast for today in Kansas City. Our rain chances between 8 o'clock this morning and lunchtime. We'll have some lingering cloud cover into early this afternoon, so that'll help prevent full sunshine and reaching into the mid-90s today, thanks to that cloud cover of a high temperature of 89 degrees here in Kansas City, 90 in Butler, Paola, and Lacine, and mid to upper 80s in Maryville and Trenton. Tomorrow begins a 3-day stretch of excessively hot and humid conditions. It's going to be our first heat wave, if you will, of the year. We'll have high temperatures that could push close to 100 degrees, Johnny.
All right, Nick, well, I think it was last year, wasn't it? We went right from winter to summer, and it got hot right away. So at least we've had some relief in that regard, and it's been pretty normal. But, yeah, getting hot later will not affect, of course, the rush hour this morning where it's kind of nice and cool. This is where, though, we had an accident just a little while ago. This, as you can see, traffic from the upper right to the lower left, westbound I-70 coming up to Noland Road. Eastbound lanes, some construction going on there, but it was westbound that was really jammed with a couple of lanes blocked there, and the backup still to Lee Summit Road, but beginning to open up here, and I think really before we have the heaviest traffic for the rush hour, this will all clear out and I-70 will be back to normal. Now, though, if you're getting ready to head out, might want to think about allowing a few extra minutes just in case it hasn't quite completely gotten back to normal, and then I think you'll be in pretty good shape. Johnny Rollins, News Chopper 9, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Johnny. And we're definitely seeing some improvement on the roadways this morning because that earlier accident on I-70 is the only thing on our traffic map this morning. I want to give you a quick check of your drive times this morning. Still a slight hesitation on I-70 like Johnny mentioned. We do want to give you the heads up though. I-35 southbound like clockwork. We are starting to see those slowdowns because of construction. That left lane at 16th Avenue taken away on I-35 through August, Cody.
All right. We now know the name of a man charged in Sunday's deadly shooting at 57th and Prospect. Right now, 26-year-old Kayvon Green is facing first-degree assault and armed criminal action charges. Police took him into custody in Grandview Sunday night, hours after the shooting. Police did release the names of the 3 people who were killed in that shooting early Sunday morning. Chastity Strong, Camden Brown, and Nico Manning were killed. They were all in their 20s. 6 other people turned up at hospitals. They're all expected to be okay. Detectives say they are confident many people saw this shooting. So if you were in the area, call the Crime Stoppers Tips hotline at 816-474-TIPS.
An Excelsior Springs police officer is back on the job after being shot twice. This happened during a traffic stop last October. Police tried to pull over a man who is wanted for assaulting a law enforcement officer. That's when he started shooting, hitting Officer Andrew Stott. He'd been on the job less than a year when this happened. Stott has had 5 surgeries, 21 trips to the doctor, and more than 50 physical therapy sessions. He said it's a little nerve-wracking, but he is excited to get back.
Being back out here, this is where I'm meant to be. I feel very comfortable out here. So I'm just now starting to get acclimated to the road again. I chose this job to serve and protect people, and the community here is phenomenal. And I love doing community policing.
And it's the community that Officer Stott wants to say thank you to. Thank you for all of the support over the last few months, especially to 17-year-old Ava Donegan. Donegan helped put a tourniquet on him after he was shot, and officers honored her with a certificate of recognition back in November.
Now to an interview you'll only see on KMBC 9 this morning.
For the first time, Ralph Yarl, the teen shot after going to the wrong house, spoke exclusively and shared his story with Good Morning America's Robin Roberts.
What do you want people to know about you, Ralph?
I'm just a kid, not larger than life because this happens to me. I'm just gonna keep doing all the stuff that makes me happy and just living my life the best I can, not let this bother me.
Ralph is opening up about the night he was shot in the head and the arm at a Kansas City home. The suspect in the case is now facing charges. He claims it was self-defense. Yarl's exclusive interview with Robin Roberts on Good Morning America is set this morning at 7 a.m. here on Channel 9. Lawmakers are taking steps to improve Jackson County's emergency services in response to citywide staff shortages. Legislator and 911 Committee Chairman Sean Smith is proposing an assessment of needs study. The proposal would provide $200,000 to a third party to evaluate the needs of the dispatching system and then suggest some specific improvements. The proposal comes after a couple was attacked right outside of Arrowhead Stadium earlier this month. They had called for 911, but they were placed on hold for over 5 minutes.
Jackson County is making changes to its public health department, including moving into a new office in a more central location designed to help more people. KMBC 9's Martin Augustine is giving us a tour this morning. Hi, Martin.
Yeah, good morning. Take a look around in the waiting area of this new office building in Lee's Summit. And why are we showing you this? Well, because there's just more space to take care of more people, to get them registered and through the process here at the health department, something that the old facility in Independence simply did not have. This move makes the health department just easier to access for those of you who live in Jackson County, especially in the eastern part of the county. But here's another thing, too. It also brings the health department, the county's environmental health division, which does inspections and restaurant licenses, things like that, and the WIC nutrition program under one roof for the first time. There are also more clinical rooms on top of the registration and waiting areas that we showed you, just to serve all of you more efficiently with what the county says is cutting edge technology. Now we're back out here live at these offices, which are at Woods Chapel Road and I-470 in Lee's Summit. Been open for a few days now. Another big change, though, is the Jackson County Health Department is not calling itself the Jackson County Health Department anymore, but it's been rebranded as Jackson County Public Health. Reporting live at Lee's Summit, Martin Augustine, KMBC 9 News.
Thanks, Martin. Time now, 6:37. A massive heat wave is already testing the limits of the power grid in parts of the U.S. According to the North American Energy Reliability Corporation, almost all of the country west of the Mississippi River could be dealing with blackouts. The problem is when the temperature goes up, people crank their air conditioners, they stress the power grid, and then there's also the supply chain issues and shortage of workers to think about. So with the extreme heat we are expecting this week, definitely something to keep in mind. I mean, you need to stay cool in this weather.
Right, for sure. And we know county governments and transportation authorities will probably be helping this week, but we'll keep an eye on that. We'll let you know.
You have another day to prepare. You know, tomorrow is when we begin that stretch of excessive heat and humidity. So we're going to have heat index values that will be above 100 degrees. You know, there's still a question whether or not our air temperature makes it to 100, but it's going to be close on Wednesday and Thursday. We do have the chance of a few showers this morning, and more precisely between 8 o'clock and noon. So from 8 to noon is when we may have some showers, some increased cloud cover. That will help stymie an excessive warm up today. We'll make it to near 90 degrees, which is pretty typical for a late June day, near 90 degrees. It'll stay muggy overnight. That's when we're going to start to feel the impacts of this heat wave is overnight and tomorrow morning. It's stay muggy, and there could be some scattered thunderstorms overnight, but our focus is on that daily heat index value above 100, could be as high as 105 on Wednesday and Thursday, with high temperatures reaching close to 100, especially on Thursday. Cody.
Nick, thank you. It's now been 1 year since 4 people died, dozens more were hurt when an Amtrak train hit a dump truck and went off the tracks in Mendon, Missouri.
Legal battles are still happening today. KMBC 9's Rob Hughes joins us live to bring us up to speed on what's been happening in the year since that derailment. Good morning, Rob.
Hey, good morning to you, Jamie and Cody. Well, that Amtrak train, the Southwest Chief 4, was heading from Los Angeles to Chicago when it hit a dump truck at a crossing near Minden. There were 275 passengers and 12 crew members on board. 3 of those passengers and the driver of the dump truck were killed in that crash. Now, an investigation of the NTSB revealed that the train was going 87 miles per hour when it hit the truck. That's under the 90 mile per hour speed limit. And that crossing at County Road 113 and Porch Prairie Road had been on a statewide list for safety improvements from MoDOT before the crash. Well, now that crossing's on a list of projects ready for funding with a price tag of $400,000. Those improvements would include installing lights and gates, but as of now, nothing has changed from the day of that derailment. And there's still several lawsuits also involving passengers, BNSF Railway, and Amtrak working their way through the legal system. We'll bring updates on those cases as soon as they're available. We are live at Union Station. I'm Rock Hughes, KMBC 9 News.
Appreciate it, Rob. Thank you. Kansas Attorney General Chris Kobach is working to stop transgender people from changing their gender on their birth certificates. He laid out his plan during a news conference Monday. A new law set to take effect Saturday prevents transgender people from using restrooms associated with their gender identities. Kobach wants to go beyond that and wants driver's licenses to only show gender assigned at birth. Same goes for birth certificates. He claims state records have to follow the definitions set by state law. Civil rights groups, though, are condemning the AG's attempt to enforce this law. A 2019 federal court order still on the books. It requires the state to issue corrected birth certificates with accurate gender markers to transgender Kansans. The director of Kansas ACLU does not believe that this new law would change that order.
He's saying that because the state legislature happened to pass another bill, which is extreme and vague and constitutionally suspect in its own way, that therefore he shouldn't have to follow the court's order or the Constitution. And I think that's a laughable argument.
Kansas Governor Laura Kelly vetoed the bill, which would require sex at birth on legal documents, but the state legislature overrode the veto, so it becomes law on Saturday.
For the first time, we're hearing a recording of former President Donald Trump and discussing some secret documents.
We'll play part of that recording and explain its importance to the case against the former president.
The Kansas City teen shot when he showed up to the wrong house is speaking out for the first time. Next on First News, we are talking live with Good Morning America's Robin Roberts about her exclusive interview with Ralph Yarl.
Your station leading the way, getting you prepared so you can plan today with confidence. KMBC 9 News.
6:43 on your Tuesday morning as we take a live look across Kansas City. A beautiful start to the day, but one of the hottest days of the year is arriving this week. Nick is going to show us when the combination heat and humidity could become dangerous, plus the precautions you're going to want to take. We do want to check in with News Chopper 9's Johnny Rollins for a look at your traffic. Hey, Johnny.
Hey, Jamie. Things are looking pretty good out here. I-70 outbound, though, coming out of downtown at 644. We are seeing a slowdown here. It is construction down by the Benton Curve, where they've taken away a lane or two. Well, it looks like they actually take the lane away before you ever get out of downtown. Take a look at that. So we do have a backup across the south side of the loop. This unusual. Normally, we'd see the slowdown inbound to the upper left, that westbound I-70 run into downtown. So this is coming out of downtown. And, yeah, as slow as this is, I'm thinking this could be more of a mess than earlier anticipated, so we'll see if we can get some more look at this. But file that away. Coming through downtown right now, if you're planning on heading to eastbound I-70, looks like it's going to be a slow go. Johnny Rollins, News Chopper 9, back to you in the studio.
All right, Johnny, thanks for looking out. ABC News has obtained an audio recording of former President Trump discussing confidential documents. Now, we've known this recording is a critical piece of the evidence in the federal case against him, but this morning we're hearing it for the first time. Here's ABC's Morgan Norwood.
This morning, ABC News has obtained the audio recording of former President Trump appearing to show off secret documents he did not declassify.
I just found, isn't that amazing? This totally wins my case, you know. Except it is like highly confidential, secret.
The conversation with aides and two people working on an autobiography of former Trump Chief of Staff Mark Meadows took place in 2021 at Trump's New Jersey Golf Club. The contents of the recording have previously been reported and are quoted in the Justice Department's indictment related to Trump's handling of classified documents after leaving office. But the recording itself has never before been heard publicly. Trump is heard railing against his former Joint Chiefs Chairman, General Mark Milley, while shuffling papers. And he references a document about attacking Iran in which Trump says Milley compiled.
He said that I wanted to attack Iran. Isn't it amazing? I have a big pile of papers. This thing just came up. Look. This was him. They presented me this. This is off the record, but they presented me this. This was him. This was the Defense Department and him.
The recording appears to undercut Trump's claim that he had declassified the documents before leaving office. Trump has pleaded not guilty to 37 federal charges, including conspiracy and obstruction. Prosecutors accuse him of illegally keeping classified documents at his Mar-a-Lago resort. After news broke that prosecutors were in possession of the recording, Trump claimed to Fox News that he was not referring to an actual document.
I didn't have a document per se. There was nothing to declassify. These were newspaper stories, magazine stories, and articles.
Trump says he had personal items mixed in with the documents, which is why he says he did not comply with a subpoena to return them. Reacting to the audio recording last night, Trump's campaign said the audio tape provides context proving once again that President Trump did nothing wrong at all. The president is speaking rhetorically. Morgan Norwood, ABC News, New York.
The first hearing in Trump's case is scheduled for next month. A hearing is also scheduled for a Trump aide, and that's happening today. That person also charged in the case.
So now is 6:47. The person accused of shooting and killing 5 people at a Colorado Springs bar has pled guilty. Yesterday, he was sentenced to 5 consecutive life sentences in prison. The shooting happened in November at Club Q, which is an LGBTQ club. The suspect is pleading no contest to bias-motivated crimes.
This defendant committed an act of terror against a malign group of people based on ideological hatred for that community. And I, as district attorney, and I know the people behind me, will not stand for that kind of hatred and criminal effort in this community.
Now the district attorney is pushing for the death penalty. The FBI also confirms it's conducting its own investigation with the DOJ.
President Biden recently announced a plan to expand high-speed internet access, and Kansas is getting nearly $452 million out of the deal. Right now, the state's Office of Broadband Development is collecting info to figure out which parts of the state have the greatest need, and you can help. Go to broadbandks.com, take an online speed test, and then that information is shared with the office. Fireworks tents are starting to pop up all over the metro this week.
And we were able to stop by Peanuts Fireworks in Edwardsville, Kansas, where workers are already getting ready for business. Today is the first day that you can can buy fireworks in Kansas. Your first day to set them off in Edwardsville is July 1st. KMBC 9 is helping you get prepared for the holiday. You can check out our fireworks rules guide online to see what's allowed in your city. You'll also find a list of 4th of July displays and other celebrations on KMBC.com. And as we look ahead to this 4th of July weekend and the forecast, I mean, not only is it going to be, hot, but like there is drought we need to be careful of, especially with people shooting off fireworks.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll see what the drought conditions are and any city or counties making any limitations too.
Yeah, you got to think that drought's not going anywhere in parts of Kansas and Missouri, and air quality could become an issue next week with a stagnant weather pattern, and we're going to be adding a lot of this smoke and particulates to the atmosphere from those fireworks. Now, we do have some of weather's fireworks. We have lightning here with downpours and thunderstorms into central Kansas. Those are moving eastward toward Kansas City, and FutureScan has those showers. Those thunderstorms will weaken, but showers and cloud cover moving in between 8 o'clock this morning and lunchtime. We may have some scattered rain showers, so grab your umbrella as you head out the door this morning. Right now it's sunny and comfortable, but we do have that chance of rain showers in the next few hours. The wind is calm right now. It's 65 degrees out your door with dew point values in the 50s. We're going to talk a lot about the dew point over the next few days because that is going to have an impact on your outdoor plans or your event. It's going to increase and it's going to make it feel a lot muggier. We'll have dew points in the 60s and 70s for Wednesday and Thursday. 12-hour forecast for today in Kansas City. Here's our rain chance, 8 o'clock this morning through lunchtime, and then a mix of sun and clouds this afternoon with a high temperature near 90 degrees. We begin a 3-day stretch of excessively hot and humid conditions tomorrow with highs well into the mid to upper 90s here in Kansas City, close to 100 degrees in parts of Kansas. The hottest day on our first alert 9 day is Thursday. The air temp near 100. Heat index values will be well above 100. And that heat will hold through Friday before it abates over the weekend. We do have thunderstorm chances again overnight and then Friday afternoon off and on throughout the day on Saturday.
All morning long, we've been previewing Good Morning America's exclusive first interview with Ralph Yarl, the local teen shot after going to the wrong house.
He sat down with GMA's Robin Roberts, who we're happy to have live now with the preview. Robin, good morning.
Good morning to you both, and thank you so much because I did recently spend time there in Kansas City and talking with Ralph Yarl and his mother, Cleo, and it's the message that they want to get out.
Technical difficulties getting to Robin, but you'll be able to hear her exclusive interview coming up on Good Morning America at 7 o'clock.
Right. You'll only see it here on Channel 9, and we'll have excerpts of that throughout the day here on KMBC 9. This morning, we are learning more about an attempted uprising in Russia. We'll have that for you in just a second. This morning, we're learning more about an attempted uprising in Russia from over the weekend. The leader of a mercenary group is now in exile in Belarus after briefly taking over a military headquarters and marching his troops toward Moscow. Good Morning America will explain why he stopped the revolt and what he says his true goal was. That's next on Channel 9. Here at home, Jackson County's Public Health Department has a whole new look, name, and location. Jackson County Public Health is officially open in Lee Summit. When First News continues on KCWE, we'll show you around the new HQ and hear how officials say this new building just aligns better with the department's goals.
Construction and slowdowns is the story when it comes to your first alert traffic. We're taking a live look in the downtown loop. We'll show you the areas of the biggest concern when it comes to your morning drive coming up on KCWE.
I'm watching those thunderstorms out to the west of Salina, Kansas, with rain out to the north and east near Marysville, Kansas. And that batch is moving toward Kansas City, though those thunderstorms will weaken and mainly pass to our south and our west. We could still see those rain showers and cloud cover from 8 o'clock this morning through lunchtime. So especially that 9, 10, 11 o'clock hour, that's when you might want to have that umbrella with you here across Kansas City into central Missouri as those showers roll through. Not expecting any severe weather with that batch that comes through, though we might have a few lightning strikes. Thunderstorms are possible again overnight into Wednesday morning, but the greatest impact the weather will have on the rest of your week will come in the form of excessive heat and humidity on our first alert 9-day forecast. So we've highlighted that here for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. High temperatures are going to get close to 100 degrees, especially on Thursday. And with increasing dew point values or surface moisture, it's going to feel really oppressive. We're going to have dew point values in the 70s, so expect heat index values to be above 100 Wednesday, Thursday, possibly into Friday before we see that excessive heat breaking for the weekend with a chance of off and on thunderstorms on Saturday. As we look ahead to Independence Day, for now, there are no rain or thunderstorm chances. We'll have high temperatures fairly typical for early July in the low 90s.
Fairly typical, but still very warm. All right, thanks, Nick. And thanks so much for starting your day with us. GMA is next here on Channel 9.
And you can continue with local news on KCWE coming up in just a bit. A reminder, you can watch that exclusive interview with Robin Roberts and Ralph Yarl coming up at 7 on GMA.
9 First.